Hi and welcome to another Supple Strength video. This video is aimed at intermediate and advanced. There's only a very short introduction and most of the moves will be level 2 and above. So this video is definitely not for a beginner. All you'll need for this video is a cushion. There's no other exercise equipment in there whatsoever. So if you're ready, we'll get started. Roll the shoulders back just to loosen up. Roll them forwards as well. Turning through the neck. That's it. Mobilising through the legs, just bend the knees, circle the feet around, make sure those joints are nicely loosened up. We're going to wake up through the lungs now. Taking a nice big deep breath of air in. So your feet underneath the hips, core muscles switched on, big breath in, sweep up. Blow the cobwebs away as you breathe out. And again, breathe in. This time we'll twist to the right as you breathe out. Wrap your hands around to your hips and look over your shoulder. Back to the front. And we'll do the same to the other side. Big breath in. And breathe out. Okay then. We'll go through that setup. Just double checking that the feet are indeed hip distance apart by taking the heels out, bringing the toes in line. Check that the knees do not lock, check your pelvis is in neutral. You can tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards to double check. Pubic bone and hip bones level with each other as you look down to create that natural curve. Core muscles switched on, around your torso and of course underneath the pelvic floor. Keep the rib cage down and connected at all times. Keep those shoulders back, chin to chest. Lengthen up through the back of the neck. So let's go through the breathing. Close the eyes if you wish. To keep the core muscles switched on, we're going to breathe in through the nose and allow the chest to expand as the lungs fill with air. As you breathe out through the mouth, allow the chest to deflate down. But all the time, of course, the core muscles stay switched on. Just take a couple of breaths to practice that. And aim to keep this breathing process throughout the class. As you breathe, allow mind and body to connect and stay connected. Checking the shoulders are broad, the neck is long, core muscles are in, the knees have not locked, but also just briefly, just shift your weight slightly from side to side, forwards and back. Acknowledge all four corners of your feet, and then when you settle, ground yourself down into the floor, settling the weight evenly into your feet. Okay, open the eyes. Just wake up a little bit. We're going to go into our lunging arm circles as a warm-up. So right foot forward, left foot back, knee above the heel. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Don't walk a tightrope, remember. Pelvic floor zipped up, core muscles are switched on. Two hands in front, we're going to circle just the left arm around. So drop it down, go back up and stop in front. And again. Nice big circles. Allowing your body weight to shift forward slightly with every circle. Aiming to open out that left hip just that little bit more. If you want to readjust the feet, take the back foot back maybe, or the front foot forward if you want to sink down. So last single arm now. Let's do double arms. Twist from the waist, watch the hands, and circle. So I've started with the right leg forwards today, and throughout this class it will be right leg leading. Please make sure you alternate. So the next time you watch the video, it should be left leg starting throughout. Okay, one more circle. And we'll wriggle those feet back in and do the other side. So if you're long ways on to me, just change the feet over. If you're side on like I am, then you can turn and face the other way. So left foot on the left, right foot on the right. Make sure that heel's on the floor behind you, your knee is above the heel. Core muscles switched on, pelvic floor zipped up, hands in front. Right arm circles, down, up and forwards. Again, a little bounce. Double checking that the knee doesn't go too far forwards. If it does, drag that back foot back. If you were to look down, remember, you should be able to see your toes all of the time. Pelvic floor zipped. One more single arm. Let's do double arms, twist from the waist. Watching the hands if you can, and encourage your body to twist just that little bit more. Keep breathing. Pelvic floor zip down. Last one. And release. And wriggle those feet back in for me. Give the legs a little shake. Into our balance then, which is the star. We're going to plug the right foot into the floor, lengthen up, switch on, focus the eyes, and then gently float the limbs out into all four corners. Find your balance and settle. So if you're a bit wobbly, stay here, core muscles in, breathe and focus your gaze. If you find yourself fairly steady and you want to challenge yourself, very gently look from one hand, she says, to the other. Core muscles in, pause if you wobble, use that balance and center. And gently come down. Give that leg a little shake. Let's see if I can do better on the other side. So plug the other foot into the floor, lengthen up, switch on, focus the eyes. Always set the body up ready for your balance. That's it. And stretch yourself out. All four corners. Body leaning slightly if you wish. And then if you are stable, gently look from one hand over to the other. To challenge your balance if you wish. Core muscles in and keep breathing, remember. Use the core muscles. And gently come down. Okay, give that leg a little shake. We're going to go into roll downs now. Remember all of your principles. Heels under the hips, core muscles are switched on. We'll breathe in at the top. As you exhale, drop the chin to the chest, drop the arms and shoulders forwards. Slowly collapse forwards, stretching out through the spine. Keep the tummy scooped. Imagine you're folding yourself over a fence to retrieve something from the other side. So tummy scooped up to avoid that fence. Whether you reach the floor or not doesn't matter. And if you need to bend the knees, then obviously you may. Restack then. Visualize rebuilding the spine, one section at a time, like bricks of Lego if you like. The ribs dropping down one by one into place. The shoulders melting into place and the head coming up last. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, chin to chest, drop the arms and shoulders. Same again, with the aim of stretching over maybe a little bit further this time. Visualize the space in between each vertebrae as you stretch and lengthen the spine. Lengthen through the back of the legs, of course you can bend the knees if you want to. And then let's restack, always using your core muscles. Imagine your tummy muscles pushing the spine up from inside the body. Slowly but surely rebuild. Drop the shoulders into place, head up last. Okay, we're going to do some side rolls now into some press ups. So if you can take yourself to the back of your mat. Heels still underneath your hip bones. Keep your hips in the centre when we go to the side, remember. So right arm over left, hips in the centre. Turn at the last moment, use your core muscles to slowly lower yourself down. Come to the centre and briefly look between your legs. Into press-ups, hands and knees to the floor. You've got different versions of press-ups. You've got your easiest box press-up, knees under hips, core muscles in. Nose to the floor with your hands nice and wide. Then you've got your three-quarter press-ups. Hands and body weight go forwards. You bring yourself forwards and you're pivoting on the area just above your kneecap. Again, nose to the floor with the hands wide. And for the stronger ones, if you want, you can go to full press-ups. Just take care, they're good. Good posture, long neck, broad shoulders, strong core. Last one then, walk the hands back to the knees. Curl the toes under, knees and bottom go up, check your feet at hip distance. Chin to chest, scoop up the tummy, slowly rebuild. And then we'll smoothly go into the other side. We'll go left arm over to right, of course, and keep the hips in the centre. Left arm over, turn at the last moment, lower down. Briefly look between the legs as you hang upside down and into those last press-ups. You choose your level once again. Let's do 5 or 6. Keep those shoulders broad, the neck nice and long, no sagging with the chest or the hips. Nice and strong through the arms, fully warming that area up. Okay, last one. We're going to bring our hands back onto the mat, preparing for downward facing dog. So curl those toes under as you exhale, lift the knees up, use your core muscles, and stretch yourself back into downward dog. So the legs might feel a little on the tight side as we are still warming up, so you can walk those heels up and down if you want to. Tease a little bit more length and warmth into those calf muscles. The hands push the floor forwards, shoulders are broad and wide, core muscles in, lifting your hips up as far as you can. Okay, moving on from here, we're going to do what's called a sag. Bring your body weight forwards and literally sag your hips down towards the floor, lifting your chin slightly. Use your core muscles to support. If you need to, of course, you can melt the knees to the floor. Then use your core muscles to lift the hips back up. Back into downward facing dog. Spread the shoulders wide, lengthen and breathe. And then once more into your sag. Lowering down, staying in control all of the time, lifting the chin just a fraction, melting the knees if you need to, and then exhale, use your core muscles to lift the hips back up, last time into downward facing dog. Into warrior one next, so melt the knees to the floor first if you need to, bring the right foot forward, settle the left foot on the floor behind you, and come to standing. So hips and shoulders, right knee and toes are facing the short edge of your mat. Core muscles in, pelvic floor switched on, fingers and eyes, float to the skies. Remember to draw the shoulders down though. Make that connection into your waist, bringing the shoulder blade down. So it's up to you how far you sink into this, aiming to open out through that hip flexor. Keep breathing. Core muscles, pelvic floor, everything zipped up. Into warrior two from here. So take the arms out at shoulder height, that'll help with your balance, and zigzag that right foot across so that the heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. Bottom tucked right under. Sandwiched in between two brick walls is your analogy. So core muscles in. Turn to look towards the right if you want to. But make sure that the left shoulder and hip doesn't follow. And check also that that right knee doesn't collapse. Press on the outside of the foot to keep it in line. One more before we do the other side. We'll drop the arms. If you've gone quite wide like I have, you might want to bring that back foot in a little bit. And then everyone, you need to wriggle the right foot back over to the right. Turn your hips and shoulders to face the short edge of the mat again. Two straight legs, tummy in, stick your bottom out. Notice how the back is very straight, shoulders are pinned back, I've not folded forwards, I'm keeping my chest proud and pulled forwards and everything's drawn down into the lower back. That's keeping the pelvis tilted, forcing that stretch down the back of that front leg. Hands can go to the thigh or the shin, please do not press into the knee. Now I want you to bend that right knee, push into the foot to lift up. If you are straight on with your mat, you're simply going to swap the feet over. If, like me, you're on the side, you simply turn and face the other way. So you should have your left foot in front now, ready for warrior one. Bend that front knee, knee above the hip, hips and shoulders, facing the short edge of the mat. Pelvic floor, fingers and eyes, float up to the skies. Drop the shoulders down, remember. Settle in and try and stretch out through that right hip. Keep jiggling and tweaking, challenging the muscles, challenging the stretch. Pelvic floor most definitely zipped up, core muscles switched on. Ready for warrior two, arms out at shoulder height, they'll help with the balance. Wriggle that left foot across, heel in line with the arch of the foot. Left knee is bent, don't let it drop in, remember, press on the outside of the foot. And then if you want, you can stare towards the left, but keep the shoulders back, keep the the hips open to the front, bottom tucked under, core muscles very much switched on. Single leg forward fold is next. Release the arms. You might want to bring that back foot forwards a little. Wriggle the left foot back over to the left and pivot. Two straight legs facing the short edge of the mat, tummy in, chest forwards. Keep those shoulders pinned back. Hands can go to the thigh if you wish. Remember, do not fold. Very straight back. And that tilt of the pelvis will challenge that hamstring stretch down the back of the leg. Keep breathing. Okay, bend that left knee. Take the back knee down. We're going to go on to our knees now as we continue with a Pilates move called windmill. We're going to do it kneeling. So knees directly underneath your hips. Feel free to pop a cushion or something supportive underneath your knees if you want to. Bottom clenched, core muscles are switched on. Let's windmill those arms. As one arm goes up, the other arm goes down. And the aim is to keep those shoulders down away from the ears. So if you lift the arm up and you find that your shoulder is raising as well, and don't take the arm quite so high. More experience you can add on with circling. One arm backwards, one arm forwards. But notice how again the shoulders do not lift up and my torso is not rolling because of the moving arms. Everything is staying solid. So it doesn't matter really what you're doing with your arms, as long as you're able to keep the torso and the shoulders intact and stabilized. And release down. Give those arms a little shake and sit your bottom back. So we're going to go down into the floor now for the basic lift. You might need a pillow for this. We'll do the single legs briefly and then move on up to the double legs relatively quickly. So remember, you can use your imprinted spine if you want to when you go to the two-leg version. Everyone needs a right angle at their knees and their feet must always go back to the same spot. Knees and toes in line with those hips, of course. And if you want to, if you need to, fingertips on top of the hip bones. Otherwise, back of the hands to the floor. Core muscles are switched on. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, gently float one foot off the floor. Breathe in, replace the foot back to the start. Breathe out, pick the other foot up. And breathe in, melt down. Use your fingertips if you need to double check that your pelvis is settled and balanced. If it's not, you've got to stay at the single leg version, remember. But if it is, you breathe out to float this leg. Breathe in, prepare. As you breathe out, you can flatten the back a little bit to then float the other leg as well. You breathe in to melt the first leg and the second leg down. You breathe out to float the second leg first. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out and float. So remember, you can do the two-leg level with your back flattened down into the floor if you need to. Eventually you are working towards maintaining your neutral spine whilst you challenge. But you can use imprint if you want to. Moving on from there, back of the hands to the floor, across the arms over the chest. And moving on from there, lengthening the legs and slowing everything right down will make you work that little bit harder. Remember, the back has got to stay in neutral, the shoulders stay without any tension, and the back of the neck is nice and long. Core muscles working to support the spine all the way through. Focusing all the challenge on that corset of strength. Make this one the last one then. Melt down and stretch long. We're going to go into the bridge next, okay? We'll do a couple of plain bridges and then we're going to add on by taking one foot off the floor and then squeezing your bottom to lift the hips up and down. So heels quite close to your bottom. Feel as if the heels are almost underneath your knees. Core muscles are switched on once you've found neutral, but of course we are coming in and out of neutral, hands on the floor. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, tilt the pelvis backwards, squash it back into the floor. Slowly peel up. Keep those legs parallel. We don't have the ball to check, of course. Use your core muscles to lift and peel the spine up without clenching your bottom too tight. And then breathe in and roll the spine back down into the floor. Try and manipulate and snake like a scorpion's tail as much as you can to return to neutral, then tilt back, squeeze the abdominals to lift the spine again, and then breathe in and roll down. So we're going to add on this time. Breathe out, tilt back, peel up, stay up, lock into the core, keep the pelvis still, float one leg. Just keep the knee bent though in the usual position. Now drop and lift by squeezing your bottom, pushing the heel into the floor. You're not going to the floor with your bottom, you're just sinking and pressing the foot down, squeezing the thigh on the bottom to lift the hips back up. Use your core to stabilize. We'll make this one the last one. Foot down and then go through the other leg. Drop down, squeeze, lift. Drop down, squeeze, lift. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And melt the foot down and roll your spine back down into the floor. Legs into the chest, gently rock from side to side. Then we'll roll ourselves up. We're going to go into planks. I've got a little sequence for you here where you're going to do 3 seconds on the front, 3 seconds on the side, 3 seconds on the front, 3 seconds on the other side. Back to the front, dog tap, opposite knee, plank, dog tap, opposite knee, into plank. Here we go then. 3, 2, 1 onto the side. 3, 2, 1. Back to the front. 3, 2, 1. Other side. 3, 2, 1. On your front. Dog, tap opposite knee, back to plank, settle. Dog, opposite knee, back to plank, back to the side. 3, 2, 1. Front. 3, 2, 1. Other side. 3, 2, 1. Back to the front. Dog tap, opposite knee, back to plank, settle. Dog, opposite knee, back to plank, and settle. And melt the knees down, push your bottom back to your heels, have a little rest. Rotate those wrists through if you want to. We're going to go to single into double leg stretch now, so laying on your back again. So settle yourself down. Pelvis is going to stay in neutral, unless of course you need imprint for the 2-leg version. Core muscles are switched on, hands on the floor just for the moment. We'll breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, float one leg into the usual position. Arms and legs now. Breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, stretch the leg in one direction, stretch the arms in the opposite. Keep the connection in your core. Do not allow your chest to pop up or your back to arch. Breathe in to draw in. Breathe out to stretch away. So that's the single leg version. Stay with that if you need to. Swapping over to the other leg shortly. Alternatively, of course, there's the double leg, and you can flatten your back if you want to. Stretching one leg and 2 arms, coming back in. Stretching the other leg and 2 arms, coming back in. For the single and the double leg version, of course, you can curl your head and shoulders up off the floor. This will most definitely flatten your back to the floor. Fingertips to the sky though, do not take those arms behind you. Do make sure you really tighten through those upper abdominals. Keep the shoulders lifted off the floor. For the stronger ones, 2 legs, 2 arms. Head and shoulders up or down is completely up to you. The core muscles have to stay firm. Shoulders stay away from the ears. Keep breathing. Okay, we'll do one more. And then hug the legs into the chest and melt down. rolling yourself back up again. We're going to do the kneeling side kick now. If you need a cushion, or if you need to fold your mat up, feel free to do so. We're going to kneel on the left leg. Take the left hand out, stretch the right leg out. Right arm for the ceiling. If that's too much for the neck or shoulder, of course the hand can go to the thigh. Notice how there's a square shape here. It's not triangular. I'm not leaning. You're on the top of the knee, push the hip forwards. Hand, knee, foot should be in a straight line. Core muscles in. If you're focused and if you're settled, you can float that right leg. Stay here if you wish. Moving on through the levels, you can pendulum swing that leg from the hip. Nothing else should move, of course. Eyes looking forwards or up to the fingertips. Adding on one more level. Flex as you go back, point as you go forward with those feet. Stay solid and still through the body, just that leg moving. Okay, last swing. Melt yourself down and hug the legs into the ball. Before we do the other side, we're going to do rolling ball. If you know that rolling ball is not suitable for you, you can do some abdominal curls. Just lay on your back, fingers behind your ears, curl the head and shoulders up off the floor, knees bent, feet on the floor. So that's your alternative if you're not keen on rolling ball. For those that are doing rolling ball, you're going to sit towards the front edge of your mat, hands in front or behind the knees, drop the shoulders back. Balance the feet off the floor. Remember, you're breathing in to roll back, breathing out to roll forwards. Collapse into that tailbone, remember, to initiate the move. Breathe in, sink and roll. Lift the hips. Breathe out, come forwards. Keep it nice and secure. Aim to not throw the feet, remember. You're curling through your spine, dropping down, curling, lifting the hips. Try not to let those feet crush down on the floor. Lift the hips. Stay balanced. And of course, if you want a variation, you can drop the knees out to the side, bring the heels together, flex those feet. Clap, clap, clap 3 times. Roll as you breathe in, clap, 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 and roll forwards. Clap, clap, clap. Stay balanced on your shoulders and on those sitting bones. Keep those shoulders down. One more time. And release. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite kneeling side kick. Kneeling on the right, stretching out the left. Square shape, remember. Hips press forward, shoulders back, fingers to the sky or your hip. And then when you're ready, gently float that left leg off the floor. Keeping the torso still, swing that leg back and forth. Smooth and slow. From the hip, remember, nothing else moves. Adding on one more time, flexing the foot, pointing the toes. Just activating different muscles when you flex and point. Gets your coordination moving as well. Really gets that brain switched on. Core muscles in, keep breathing. A couple more times. Keep that core strong. And then curl yourself down into a ball. Okay, we're going to gently come to our feet now for the triangle. So bring the right foot forwards, centre of your mat. Curl the left toes under, lift yourself up to standing. So heel and arch of the foot need to stay in line this time. Both legs are straight, arms out at shoulder height, bottom tucked under. Right fingers reaching over right toes. Tilt. Take the hand to the shin or the thigh if you prefer, just don't press on the knee. Stronger ones, of course, back of the hand can go to the inside of the leg. Now make sure you're not falling forwards. That top shoulder shouldn't pinch forwards, it should be back. Imagine there's a brick wall behind you. You're pressing your bottom and your shoulders and the back of that hand up against the brick wall. Either looking forwards or up to the sky. Core muscles in and breathe. In a moment we're going to go to Sun Warrior. Let's make it one smooth movement, shall we? Drop the arm and then bend the knee, push into the foot, reaching back. Left hand goes to the left leg, right arm reaching overhead. Eyes looking up if you can. Right knee, bend it. Super. Core muscles in. Use your core muscles to bring you upright. So again, those who are front on and straight on with their mat, you need to swap your feet over. Alternatively, those who are side on like I am, you can just pivot those feet. Just make sure that the heel is in line with the arch of the foot again. Both legs are straight, arms out, left fingers, reach over left toes, tilt. Take the hand to the shin or the thigh, fingers up to the ceiling. Of course, you can drop your hand behind your back if that's more appropriate. We do want that shoulder back, so if that compromises where that arm goes, do take the arm behind you for safety. The core muscles in, stronger ones, relax that left arm down. And breathe. Remember, we've got Sun Warrior next, and we'll go into it in one smooth movement. So drop the arm, ready, bend the knee, push into the foot, reach back. Right hand goes to the right leg, left arm curls, left leg. Bend that knee a little more if you can. Really give the torso a challenge to hold you central. Keep breathing. And use your core muscles to lift you back up. We're going to take it back down to the floor, so bend both knees. Push your bottom back to your heels for a moment, in a child's pose. And then the last active move will be our roll up. To do two things at once, to stretch out through the back, but also strengthen through the core. You can have your knees bent or straight, completely up to you. So breathe in at the top, breathe out, collapse and sink. Remember, you don't have to go to the floor, there's no pressure to go to the floor. You only go to the floor if you know you can pull yourself back up smoothly without launching and throwing those arms. Keep those shoulders down. Try not to reach with those fingertips as well. You don't want to strain through the chest. Instead, when you come back up, reach with the forehead. Sink with your lower back into the floor or as far as you can go down. And then draw forwards with that forehead, just to keep the arms out of the equation. Of course, the stronger ones, you can lift those arms up on the way down and on the way up. The higher the arms are, the harder it is. Try and keep those heels down on the floor and stay in complete control. And reaching forward, stretch over those legs. Okay, so we're going to go into a cool down now. We're going to use thread the needle. I've got a little add-on for you, but it's not suitable for everybody's hips, so do bring that leg back if you find this add-on is just not suitable for you. So from all fours, we're going to take left leg out to the side. Left arm goes in the opposite direction. And you may or may not be able to get the shoulder on the floor. Don't worry if you can't, bring that leg back. And then if you're able to, that right arm can stay on the floor or it can drop behind your back, encouraging your rib cage to twist. So it's normal, thread the needle, and it's up to you if you add on with that stretched out left leg. Coming back up then. From here we're going to do horse's bows. So that left leg needs to come forwards and you keep your body weight low. So that front leg is straight and you're kneeling on the other leg. Sit your bottom back, maybe flex the foot. Feel that stretch run down the back of the leg. Transferring your weight forwards now, we're going into crescent moon. So you're still on that back knee, still on that front foot, but now your body weight has shifted forwards, so you're opening up through that right hip. Crescent moon if you wish. Arms up to the sky, baby back bend. That's up to you though. Keep those shoulders down and keep breathing. And release. Let's swap those legs over. Indeed, it's up to you if you take that leg out to the side. You don't have to. So it's right leg out to the side. Left hand down, right hand goes through. Bring that leg back if it doesn't suit the hip. Gently rest your shoulder and your ear to the floor. You can leave the left hand on the floor if you wish, or of course you can take the hand behind your back. Nice stretch through the hips. Stretch through the torso and that shoulder as well. Gently bring yourself back up onto all fours, and everyone bring that right foot forwards and keep your body weight back. Straightening out that front leg, you can tip the toes off the floor and dig the heel down if you wish. That'll accentuate that stretch down the back of the leg. And then bringing your body weight forwards, planting that foot into the floor, lifting yourself up, stretching out through the left hip with a lunge or with a crescent moon. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep breathing. And release down. Come to sit down on your bottom then. Then have both legs over to the left hand side. Leaning the right elbow on the floor, take the left foot in hand, heel to bottom, press the knee back. Hips forwards. Nice long stretch down the front of the thigh. Gently come up. Keeping the legs where they are, you're going to twist around to the right, take the right hand behind. As you breathe out, twist fully around the back. If you're able to, that right hand can wrap all the way around your back. But if you feel as if you're leaning too far, don't compromise your back. Put that hand back on the floor if you need it. And release. We'll gently swing the legs over to the other side. Left hand to the floor for that quadricep stretch. Elbow if you wish. Knee back, hips forwards. That's it. Gently sit yourselves up. We'll twist to the left. So reach across with the right hand behind with the left. Breathe in. Lift up tall. Breathe out. Twist. Look over your shoulder. And again, if you feel secure and able to stand, sit up nice and tall. Take that left hand around and hook it onto the right hip. Breathing, crown growing tall up to the sky. And release, coming back round to the front. Sit comfortable. That might be legs in front, legs crossed, it might be on a cushion. Just sit comfortable. We're going to roll those shoulders back and forwards. Okay, stay where you are. Take your hands behind you. Lace the fingers, lift the arms up, drop the chin a little. Just to stretch across the front of the shoulders and the chest. Reversing that, imagine there's a large boulder or tree trunk in front of you. Drop backwards with the back of the rib cage. Really open out, across the shoulders and down the spine. Let's finish off with the neck. So press the right hand down into the floor, tip the head over, so ear towards the shoulder, and then quite possibly you can gentle pressure with that left hand, extending that stretch between neck, ear and shoulder. Be very gentle when you release. We'll do the other side. Press the left hand down, tip the head, little pressure from the right hand if you wish, and breathe and release. Okay, thanks very much everyone. Really hope you enjoyed that. Set you up for your day maybe, or even relaxed you at the end of a long day. Take care, and I'll see you